Hello and welcome to another video of reviewing that case. So this case is this one's called Apexgaming. This is the X1 and we're going to just talk about it really quickly about what it's got and what it hasn't got. I was meant to put Sahara RGB fans in there, but I never got around to doing it because I don't have them no more. But so the RGB Sahara fans, they're pretty cheap. You can get them in Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description down below because loads of people thought that it was a really good fan. It is a good really fan. It is a really good fan. That didn't make sense. It is a good fan, and the RGBs and the colours come together. They're very decent. They're very detailed. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can purchase that. They're pretty cheap, so have a look at that. But let's get on with the main review of this case, which is the X1. So we get this manual. It's not really like a crazy manual, but it's just the X1 user manual. Some of it's in Chinese and English, and that's about it. It's not in any other. Oh no, it is. It's in other languages as well. I think it's in German. Yeah, it's definitely in German, Spanish, and something else. But yes, we're gonna throw that to the side. You can use this water cooling as well. This case that I've got here right now only does have an exhaust fan at the back, which is a 120mm fan. So let's talk about the back real quick, and then we can just move on and talk about other things. I've just got TG timber glass on the side there as well, but let's go to the back. So on the back, it's got 7 expansion slots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for your graphics cards, and then depending on what you're going to go with, obviously RTX. But if you're going with RTX, you probably wouldn't get this case. But I don't know, some people might do. But RTX takes up 4 slots, so technically it wouldn't be enough. You'd only be able to do 1 graphics card in there. But if you're going for a GTX 1080 Ti, then you'd be okay. Anyway, these are thumb screws on the back here. These unslot. You put your screwdriver, which I've got one right down here. So you can't obviously put a thick one like. Oh, maybe you can put a thick. Okay, you can put a big one in there. Normally a smaller one would do. And that keeps it from moving and wiggling about the screws. It keeps it a good position for your graphics card, so it's not out of its PCI slot. So that's pretty cool. Normally you only see one that's normally in the middle. They've put 2 on there, so it's kind of nice. Okay, that's good. The expansion slots are good. This is a cheaper case, and I've reviewed another case, and you had to, in 2018, still bend the actual tabs or the PCI slots just so you can get it out. And then once you got it out, then you can't put it back in because it was broken off the metal, whereas this is all screwed in, which I like to see as the cheapest form. Obviously you got your PSU bracket, or not bracket, but like where you put your power supply, so not at the top, so at the bottom. And you've got some a little chicken wire filter, which I will say, wipe it off, get the dust off and everything like that. Simple. Underneath you've got some feet, but they're just like normal plastic hard feet. It's not screwed down by anything. I don't know how they put that on there, but it's just on there. No other filter at the bottom or anything like that. Then let's talk about the side panel. So I don't think these are captive. Oh, they are captive damn thumb screws. Okay, and they're not machine tightened, so that's alright. No sound dampening or anything like that. Very matte finished. Not much of a flex to it, which means it's pretty decent. It's got nice little slots around there. It doesn't look very cheap, so that's not too bad. I like that. Now on the back, on the side, we'll start off here. First off, the power. So the anti-vibration for the PSU is meant to be in this segment here. There's one missing, and then they just look like they're just plonked on, which they're not. They're meant to be like stuck on right in the middle. So that's a bit annoying. Power supply's got a little bit of you can probably bend it, but it's not right. It's still reinforced enough. You can put 2 3.5-inch hard drives in there, so your mechanical hard drives. It's got quite hard rubber, not soft rubber that you would normally get on higher cases, like higher premium cases. This has got a bit of flex to it, but it's not too bad. It'll fit your hard drive in there. You just basically bend it like that and then plop it into the holes which you'll normally screw in. And then it's got these shock absorptations on the side there for your hard drive, so any anti-vibration, it will be taken out of there. But You can obviously put two 0.5 inch SSDs in there, giving you included 5, or 2 mechanical 3.5 inch hard drives and 3 SSDs here. You can unscrew these as well with obviously a Phillips or flathead, or you can not do it with your finger, because this definitely feels machine tight, but I'm going to undo it for you so you can have a look what I'm looking at. So just one little screw right there, and it should easily come out. So not captive from screw, it just comes out. Stick the SSD on there, put the 4 screws on each side, or maybe 2, like one here and one there to keep it stored inside. So if I was going to plug that in, if I put this back here, wrong way around, oh my god, I'm throwing things now. So that slots in there nice actually, just playing around with it. Feels a bit scratchy, but it's not too bad. Now if I had my SSD and my power, my SATA cable would be here, which means that I'll have to bend it a little bit to get it in here, and the SATA I could get in there perfectly, but it means that the cable management's not going to be as tidy as what I would hope. But at least you've got a nice cut out tray as well. It looks like you can put another SSD on here as well, so you can actually put on 4 SSDs, 5, 6 SSDs, 2 mechanical hard drives, or 5 SSDs. Not bad. We've got cable points that you can use the SSD point as a cable point. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 cable points if you're looking for cable management. You can wiggle, if you've got a bit of wiggle room here, that'd be for water cooling. Or you can use it if you're not with CPA cooling, you can use it to hide away the cables at the bottom there. You've got a nice distribution of space for your power supply, and there's a big gap that can come up there and feed the cables. It'll look quite nice. Now, if I turn this to the front, oh, well, it's satisfying as what I thought it would be. You got this crazy, like tinted, aggressive, like 2012 look. Looks like it's out the future. Now your RGBs would come through there. It would look pretty nice. It would separate all the cables or all the dark stuff, but all the RGB lights would actually signify through the front. It looked pretty cool. Now get the front off. Oh bloody hell! This is hard. Oh my god. Okay, we can't get that off. It's not as easy to get off the front. So I'm going to undo the side. We've got these thumb screws, and these are for the tempered glass. So these are decent quality. They've got a little bit of heft to them. It looks like the glass hangs really well. It's nice and it's quite flush with the case. It's got a little tint to it. Oh, I feel like I've got lots of static electricity on me. Probably about 10%. 10% of the colour there, and it looks, well, 10% of the tint, and on the glass as well, it looks like it's got rubber grommets right through the glass, which means it keeps it nice protected, plus it sits flush with the actual case as well, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to try and get the side off in 1 second. This case does feel fairly light now, it's not too heavy. Now you've got a big cutout here for where the power supply can drag the cables in. If you're using an ITX motherboard, it's going to look kind of strange coming all the way up and then out. It's going to have a lot of cables there. But if you're, it apparently says you can use extended motherboard on here. Extended ATX. I'm sure ATX is slightly bigger than this actual motherboard. But as I'm not actually putting it a build together, I would just normally just use an ATX, Mini-ITX, Micro-ATX and ITX all in this case. I wouldn't use an extended ATX. Extended ATX is really expensive anyway, so you probably wouldn't be looking at this case for that sort of stuff. But all the ones above I just said. Anyway, it's got nice little slots all the way down for your radiator to be placed in there. There's no point trying to place a radiator on the top of here because it won't work. You can put your fans in there, but it's got your EPS connector or hole. So an EPS connector is normally an 8-pin, but it's just called an EPS connector if everyone's wondering why I keep calling it EPS connector. 24-pin would come through here, but where these slots are, they just look a little bit awkward. And then it has got extra cutouts there as well under the SSD, but there you go. Don't know what that is, but it looks like some sort of reinforcement or something like that. The cable, the one fan that you get is a 120mm fan, 120mm, yeah, and then it's a DC connector. It's nicely braided, so that's pretty cool. And then you get all your screws and stuff in the bottom. So your screws, you get your speaker, you get five cables, cable ties. Wow, with this case it's so cheap. They even give you a freaking tool to get the standoffs in and out. Obviously this case does not have any standoffs, so it's a good little thing to have, but you get all the screws for everything. Now to attempt to obviously take the front off. Before I take the front off, let me talk about these cables real quick. So we've still got spaghetti junction on the HD audio cables, but all of these cables that normally have spaghetti junction coming out of them, like your HDD LED, your P LED plus, your reset switch, your P LED minus, and your power switch, all nicely braided. Even the USB 3 cables braided. It'd be nice to see some right angles soon, but I don't really know, or something that's some sort of attachment to it. You do get a filter on the top, like here, so you can put 140s at the top, or you can put in 120s. So you can put in 120, hang on, let's see, so we got 120, so you can put a 360 in there, no problem. Yeah, there we go, you could get a 360 at the top there, and a 280 at the top as well, with no problems whatsoever. You got this magnetic filter, but I've already bent it by accident. This is not how it comes with the case, this is what I've done. So just be careful with it. It's got a magnetic strip on there, and it just easily shuts down on here, or fits on there properly. On the top of the case, we do have two USB 3s up to 5 gigabits per second, a headphone jack, a microphone jack, a reset switch and power switch, and LED indicators for your hard drive. Then on the front, I'm going to try and get this front off. It's really stiff to get this out. So you got these like little plastic feet, and they're proper stuck in there. And it's broken. So this is what happens when it's too tight, you actually break things. So I've broken this little clip bit there that would stick on there, but it's just slightly a little bit tight for my liking. And you saw I weren't exactly trying to hurt the case, but yeah, it just shows just be a bit careful, because that's what will happen. You break that, but most of these other clips are on there. Bit messy with the glue as well, doesn't look very nice. It looks pretty cheaply done. This is all plastic, this is plastic as well, but it would look good with RGBs, but it would scratch pretty easily as well. On the front, this is where you can put on your radiator and have some water cooling. It's got Phillips screws going the way down, which is not a problem. They haven't made it very easy, and there's no filter either, but there is a nice little gap there for everything else. But other than that, it's not a bad case. Leave a link in the description down below, just don't try and break it like I did. So hopefully I didn't offend you by breaking the case, the front of it, because I didn't mean to do that. It just happens, and it's nice to let the company know that that kind of thing happens, because you could like purchase it, say that you done it, and because you didn't do it on camera like I've done it, you try to prove it to them, they might not give you a refund, or might not send you a new case back, or not try to fix the problem that is ahead of the actual product. So anyway, subscribe, share, like, and follow me on Twitter and Facebook. And subscribe if you like this sort of thing. Ask me any questions you like down at the bottom, and I'll see you next one. Thanks for watching. And if you want to see some other videos, click here or wherever they are in the cards, and share them, because if you don't share them, then it's a problem, because obviously I need them to share so people can see them. If they don't see them, they get discovered. If they don't get discovered, I'm not here. If I'm not here, then where am I? I'm only joking. Thanks for watching.